Desks up a little so there's space behind you. So many of you. There we go. Look at this. I love it. It's cozy. There we go. This is working. That's the comfiest spot. I like it.
They've done it for how many years?
But they never kick people out of.
All right, we're going to get started even though it is super duper crowded. Kids, if you want to come up, students in the back, there's plenty of carpet up here. Come sit. Come sit. Make room for the adults in the back. Kids, there's carpet time. You'll be okay. It's a half hour. You'll make it. All right. Okay, so this is absolutely right. I don't know how many it's probably 100. Probably breaking fire. All right, we're going to get started. So if you're still trying to squish in, I am so sorry. Literally, this is now about 5 times the number of people who've ever come to this session before. So normally we fit in a classroom. Like, I had no idea this many people were coming. So that's good though. I like it. I am Dr. Eric McDowell. I'm the principal of the high school. So nice to meet you. I'm not dressed super well because it's baseball season, and we also had to put up the chairs, etc. So it's a little bit of a crazy night. Otherwise, I would look a little better. But, you know, hey, purple, baseball, let's go. Okay, so you are here, hopefully, because you want some information about the Highly Capable program. Good. If not, okay? All right, here we go. And I have to do this because I have the screen set this way for these people. Okay. So we're going to outline basically the 4 major core areas. You're going to hear all about electives in the big presentation down below later on. We're going to discuss the AP Capstone Diploma.
Can we record this?
Go for it. I don't have the capability. I didn't know that this many people were coming. I'm sorry.
Do you want to share with them?
Yeah,
Next time we'll have it
I can send you
in
the
the main
link when I'm
gym.
done.
Apparently. He's recording. There you go.
Grab him after the session and get his email.
not
Get his email. Only $10 a view.
Yes.
It'll be fine. He didn't know this was money making, but now he is, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about the AP Capstone Diploma. We'll answer questions, but remember, a good question is one you think 20 other people have. A bad question is one just about your child, okay? Because I cannot answer questions about all your kids in a half hour, okay? So here we go. So let's talk about math. Math is actually the easiest one because your student is going to take the next math class in their projection, whatever it might be. So the course is like this. So if your student right now is in geometry in 8th grade, they'll take Alg 2 Trig next. If they're in Alg 2 Trig in 8th grade, they'll take Pre-Calculus 1 and 2. There is, by the way, a Pre-Calculus 1 that is not for your student. Pre-Calculus 1 is a slower course, not meant for students in the Highly Capable program. So your students want Pre-Calculus 1 and 2. If they're already there, they'll take AP Calculus AB, also has college and the high school credits. After that, they'll take BC and Calc 3. So it's more than just the AP BC curriculum. It actually has Calc 3 as well. We work with the local community colleges to make sure that's all connected. And then if they get there, we actually this year for the first time had enough students who got through all of that by senior year so that we added Calculus 4 and a class called Advanced Math Topics for those students. That's about as far as we're going to get at the high school level. Right? I've kind of run out of teachers who can teach that high level of math at high school. Anybody who can typically works at a college already. Okay? So that's, you just want to think, what's the next thing? But the big thing I want to make sure, again, I say is, it's not Pre-Calculus 1, Don't look for that one in the course catalog. That's the slower version, which is fine for some kids, but not if you're accelerated, okay? The only other thing I'm gonna say about math right now, and I used to be a math teacher, I was also the director of mathematics in the Bellevue School District. I was the principal of Odell, where the Center for the Gifted Schools are. I know lots and lots and lots and lots about HiCap. You do not get a bigger diploma if your kid gets farther, okay? You don't get a larger one. It's not like this size. They all get the same diploma. Meaning, if your student is ready for the acceleration, great. Ready for that kind of acceleration means they're getting A's, maybe B pluses. Getting a C and being 3 or 4 years ahead does not look good to the colleges. Getting a D, and we have some kids who are 3 or 4 years advanced getting D's. That actually looks terrible to the college. So if your student's ready, awesome, good for them. If they're not, it is okay to slow down. Your students will all still go to prestigious universities, okay? They really will, trust me, we send them off every year. So they really will, okay? All right, let's get on to the next one. Social studies. Social studies for students in HiCap typically looks like AP courses, okay? The big deal is 9th and 10th grade look the same because there's only one social studies requirement for the total of 9th and 10th grade. You have to take basically world history, AP World, one of those years. That's up to your family to think about. Do we want to do that 9th grade? Do we want to do that 10th grade? You can kind of choose that, okay? Whichever one you choose, they can take a class called AP Human Geography. It's a really great class, actually, in my opinion. The opposite year, okay? It's a flex credit because in Washington, there's only 3 required social studies classes. World, US, and government. Everything else is flex credits. But it still is a nice course and honestly helps them prepare, okay? Then 11th grade, lots of your kids are going to want to take AP US. They might not. Also, by the way, it's okay for them to not take AP in everything. It's okay sometimes, especially if they're a math and science type kid. Maybe they just want to take regular US history. That's fine. That is not going to look bad to a college, okay? Or maybe they're a humanities kid. They want to take AP history and language, and they're not ridiculously accelerated in math or science. That's okay too. Colleges do not need every child to be accelerated in every area. That's also not human. We all cannot be absolutely perfect in everything, okay? So kind of think about your own child and what their interests are. And then by senior year, we offer AP Government. So that's a typical choice pattern. But again, it does not mean you have to take AP everything. You can opt out for various ones, right? Just based on interest. And some kids are gonna be like, I'm not super duper interested in that. Okay, that's fine. You'll still probably go to Stanford, it's fine, okay?
Can you quickly explain what the difference of the class actually is between a US and an AP US?
Great question. She asked what the difference between a regular US and an AP US, so that's great. AP classes almost always go faster, so you got more pace. They typically have a bit more homework because they are being taught at that college level, okay? And that rigor of memorization. US is a real good one for this. We often joke that AP US is literally the hardest AP exam because it's like remembering the term that was in the footnote on page 393, and you're like, what? Right? It's super duper 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 detailed. That might be your kid's thing. Like they love all that nuance, right? Your kid might also be like, I do not want to remember every one of those items, right? But typically AP courses tend to be a lot more in-depth and typically have more pace and more work. And that's why we'll talk when we get to the AP screen just a little bit about why we don't want to take 6, okay? Thank you for the question, though. Science. Science, we offer, this is a science school. We have a bajillion science classes. In fact, we have about 2,000 kids and they'll take about 2,600 science classes per year. Lots of kids take 2 because they're just into it and they love our science. A highly capable student typically starts in biology. If your student has had quite a bit of biology, which some kids have because that's just the thing they like, we have had some kids start in AP biology. Okay? Now, the other thing I want to say this out loud on recording is that to jump to AP Biology, they also have to know chemistry. The knowledge of chemistry is required for AP Biology. So if they've never had chem, jump into AP Bio is not going to be a thing. Okay? And I'm not talking like 2 weeks of chem in the summer where I quick scanned a book. AP assumes at the college level they have knowledge, working knowledge of basic chemistry. Okay? So think through that. They might take biotechnology, and especially if they're interested in being in our HOSA program, which is our Health Services Occupations program. In order to be in that, they have to be in biotechnology. So that's a really good course. They could technically be in AP Physics 1, depending on their math level. Most of your kids are at the right math level, but the math level you have to be in at least Alg 2 Trig right now, not Alg 2 Trig next year. So if your student is already in Alg 2 Trig, or maybe they're in pre-cal, then they could think about AP Physics 1. And AP Environmental Science is also a great course open to your kids for 9th grade. There are lots and lots and lots of science classes after that. We offer AP Physics 2, AP Chemistry, Zoology, Astronomy, UW course called Wildlife in the Modern World. Like, there's a plethora. I just encourage you to go to the course catalog to find out more for after 9th grade. Yeah?
Why is chemistry not listed here?
They can, and actually it should be. That's a mistake, and I just noticed it for next time. I'm like, where's chemistry? Chemistry should also be on here. Your 9th grader can start in chemistry. Okay, again, as long as their math level. If your student is not accelerated at all, chemistry is not for them, because they really do need to be in Alg 2 Trig to be able to deal with the chemistry equations. Okay, so think through that.
Can they take 2 science classes?
They can take 2 science classes, not 3. I cannot fit them all in the rooms. Okay, but they can take 2 if they want. And lots do, honestly. They can take 2, 2, 2 every year if they want to. There's plenty. You'll hear a lot about options downstairs. Okay?
Do you have to like pass an exam thing to get into AP Biology like next year?
Nope. Do you have to take an exam to get into AP Biology? No. You just have to know for sure you've had biology. We're not starting at the basics. And you've had chemistry. Okay? So that's what we have to do.
So for math, I see a progression, right? Like 9, 10, 11, 12. What's the progression? Let's say if it takes physics or biology, do you have like a progression?
Science is a weird one. That's a great question about the progression. Math is pretty linear sequential. Science is a big word for 3 different disciplines. There's biology, chemistry, and physics, right? 3 very different disciplines, all called science. So there is no one trajectory. It really is going to be your student and what they're passionate about moving forward, right? Many of your kids may focus more on the biological side with some chemistry. Some may be much more on the physics side, having at least dabbled in bio and chem. The honest answer is most colleges want to see at least biochem and physics on the transcript, being well-rounded. But then after that, again, I've got kids right now who took, biochem physics, AP Physics 1, AP Physics 2, because that's their thing. That's what they really are. I've got other kids who took biochem physics and then took AP Biology and AP Chemistry, because they're thinking more medical down that road. So that's really going to be the way it plays out, but it's a great question because it's not so organized like math.
Do you at least have like 2 physics? Like 2 physics courses?
There is AP Physics 2 as well. That's just not available for 9th graders.
Oh, got it.
This is more the 9th grade version. Okay? Real quick, because we've got 4 more subject areas to go to.
For AP Biology, can you take chemistry at the same time, or do you have to take chemistry?
You have to take chemistry before. Let me say it one more time for everybody. You cannot just jump into biology never having taken chemistry. You have to have taken chemistry before you take AP Biology. Okay?
Not together.
Not together. Okay? Quick. Well, her question is, and that's a whole unrelated question outside of everything, what classes can you take and study by yourself for AP? The answer is all of them. The College Board doesn't care. If you want to study by yourself and take an AP test, have at it, right? That's up to you. So the College Board doesn't care. I'm going to move on to the next because we are getting really bogged down in science. Okay, so let me get to the other subject areas. English. And I really wanted to get to this one because this one's important and it's
Just
different.
said he forgot it.
Almost all of your kids, no matter whether they're high cap in reading and writing or not, are going to want to start in pre-AP 9. a very few, and by the way, I'm talking a very few, out of last year's incoming 9th grade class of 500 students, less than 15 jumped to pre-AP 10. Like that small a number, and I'll tell you why. It's very different than math, right? Equations and things are equations and things. I was a math teacher, it's super great, but that's me. The themes kids are going to encounter at young ages may not be something you want them encountering, even if they can read it or write about it. But you as a family may go, we're not ready to deal with topics like depression or suicide or other things that are in major literary works that your kid could read, but just doesn't mean yet as a family you're ready for them to do so, okay? So this is not one to just somehow push and have them all go forward. Like I said last year, I think we had 15 total kids jump ahead because their families they're actually so mature right now, it will be okay. But that's not very many. So what I don't want to see is 100 some kids saying they're going to jump, because you're going to regret it. And this is my knowledge as well from ODL, where there's the Center for the Gifted program, and thinking about the maturity level of kids, even in highly capable programs, and are they ready for those themes? And when you get to the AP curriculum in English, we don't have choices of the books. That's the College Board defining the choices, right? So that's the struggle there. After that, as it says, the typical path for almost all kids in the high cap program, pre-AP 9, pre-AP 10, AP Lang, AP Lit. Okay? But again, don't take AP everything. I'm going to say that about 100 times tonight, because your kid may be a math science kid. Have them take, we have about, you'll see downstairs, we probably have about 8 different options junior and senior year for English. There's tons of different courses they can take, because maybe they're just not that kid. They're more the math sciencey kid. Okay, that's awesome. Maybe this is their jam and you're like, oh, they're like AP Lang and Lit times 2. That's great too. Okay? Okay, capstone diploma. We are a rare school that offers the AP capstone diploma. What that means is, over the course of high school, kids have to take 6 or more AP classes in total. 2 of them have to be specific courses called AP Seminar and AP Research. So it's AP Sem, AP Research plus 4 more. That makes your 6. And you have to get scores of 3 or better in all of them. If you get 3 or better in all of them, and you've taken AP Research and AP Sem, you get from the College Board the AP Capstone Diploma. You also get recognition at graduation. We actually shout you out at graduation, etc. But it is a lot of work, right, to do that. But it's a great recognition. It also says you are operating at that level that most elite, prestigious colleges are going to want you to be at. Okay? Yeah?
Do the seminar and the research classes fulfill any of the other requirements like the CTE or anything
Not
like
yet.
that? No.
Yep, great question. She said, do they fulfill other requirements? Not yet. We are working on potentially getting research to maybe fill a language requirement, English language arts, but not right now. Now they're all just flex credits. You'll see downstairs when we do that, you'll have plenty of flex credits. Yeah?
Did you cover what score you need to get on an AP exam to get actual college credit, not just for the capstone?
Great question. That's an awesome question. No, I didn't, but I will.
Thank you.
Regardless of the exam, whether it's AP Music, AP Art, AP Calc, AP Lit, most colleges will start to think about credit or placement depending on their score if it's a 3 or better. 3 is considered passing, but it really depends on the specific university. So here's a quick example from the UW. The UW, if you get a 3 in chemistry, they will give you placement. In other words, you don't have to take the intro chem, you just get the next chem. No credits for it, you just get placing. To get credits, you have to have the 4 or 5. Colleges do a lot of that right now. And you're gonna need to contact colleges that you're thinking about and see what their policies are. I wish I could tell you there was a universal policy across the United States. There isn't. But we know for sure that 2s and 1s don't get you anything anywhere. I will tell you, unfortunately, 3s are starting to not get you much anymore. And there's a really specific reason for that. It's called money. Right? Colleges want your money. If they give you free credits, they're not getting your money. So they've been upping the bar a little bit in order to hopes to get more of your tuition dollars. So, but that's something you're going to want to check out with your particular college. There's no one standard. There is a standard though for the diploma, and that's 3s or better. And you'll just hear across the country, passing an AP exam is a 3. Which also, by the way, is going to freak your high cap kids out because they're used to getting 99% on everything. You don't even have to get 99% to get a 5 on the exam, which is the top score. And kids in high cap go, hold on. That makes no sense, right? Completely different scoring on the AP exams, right? You can get a 4 on the AP exam sometimes by getting 80% right, or 75%, because the exams are hard. They're legitimately super difficult, right? So that's a whole new world for your kid to encounter too, and they may be really freaked out. It's okay. A 4 is a really good score. It's a super good score. Okay? Yeah.
So going for AP class doesn't require them to take AP exam. Also, if the marks are lower, they need not share the marks with the colleges.
He is going to give next year's presentation, because that was exactly perfect. What he said was, when you take an AP course, there's no requirement that you take the exam, although, I will tell you, we really want them to. It's an experience. We feel like if you're going to have AP on your transcript, you should have at least taken the exam. It's also just a really good thing for kids to feel like, what does that feel like to take a 3-hour test before they get to college when it really matters, right? I think that's a good thing. But his second point, again, he's teaching this next year, is that no matter what, you don't have to report the scores. So if your child takes the test and gets a 2, you don't have to broadcast that. Don't make a billboard. Don't put it on a website. Just don't report it. And be like, yeah, that never happened. We didn't take that. We're all good, right? That's fine. You don't have to do that. So that was a really good point.
They can take it multiple times, the test,
They
until they
They can take it multiple times. I've never heard of anyone taking an AP exam twice. Never once. I suppose it's happened because there's nothing illegal about it, but you got to think, it's a year later. It's not like they take it a week later. It's literally a full calendar year later, and they're going to need to study that whole calendar year again, right? It's different than school where it's next week. It's a full year away. Okay, real quick, in the back, yes, I got 7 minutes.
So, Mr. McDowell, I have a question regarding weighted and unweighted GPA. So, when that is calculated, is the score of all the subjects taken into consideration or only a few?
So, great question. She's asked a question about how weighted and unweighted GPAs work, and she had some specifics, and the answer is very easy. We don't weight GPAs. Okay? North Shore School District does not weight GPAs based on AP exams. The colleges may do that on their own, and they do that in their own way. Again, each system does. The California system has their own way to weight it. Other schools have their own way to weight it. But North Shore School District does not weight GPA classes based on AP exams.
And we don't know whether they would weight it based on...
You would have to find out from the specific college. Again, that's that whole process they have on AP exams. But I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, here's my word of caution.
Sorry, one question. If a student takes a AP subject, but then decides it's too hard, can they move back to the non-AP?
You're going to hear downstairs, there's no such thing as a schedule change. So the answer is no. So choose carefully. I'm going to say that about 35 times downstairs. Okay? Here's my word of caution. The research actually that comes from College Board itself says there is no advantage to taking more than 6 total AP courses. These are the people who write the exams, who want your money for taking the exams, and they came out and said they have found no statistical advantage for admissions, for anything else, for taking more than 6 courses in high school. Okay? It's pretty telling when the people who want your money are saying, you actually don't need to take 12, even though we like your money for 12. Okay? Kids who take 4 or 5 or 6 the same year, they might hold it together for you at home, and I'm just being real here, you haven't met me, and I'm a pretty straightforward guy. They might be very holding it home for you because they want to make you proud. They love you as their family. And in our counseling center, they are in tears, stressed out to death. Okay? That's reality. We see that all the time. Please do not ask them to take 4 or 5 or 6, or even if they say, Mom, I want to take 6, tell them, gosh, I'm your mother. No. Okay? And I'll tell you why. Give me one more sec. Here's our recommendation. For 9th graders in high cap, 1 or 2 AP courses is plenty. They are 13 or 14 years old. These are college level courses. Okay? 11th grade 2-ish, 12th 3, 11th 3-ish, 12th 4-ish. That's still, if you add that up, that's 9, 10, 11. That's still way more than the 6, but I know y'all want a lot of AP courses, so like, I get it. But here, let's think about this. Almost everyone in the room has been to college. When you're in college, at the UW, at Stanford, at Harvard, I have a doctorate, you take 3 classes. Every now and then you'll see somebody and you all look at them and go like, that kid's taking 4? What is up with that kid? They don't take 5 or 6 classes at the same time in college. Let's not ask our 15-year-olds to do more than actual college students at Stanford are doing. Please? Again, they're going to hold it together for you. They want to make you proud. They love you. And they are going to break down. So be reasonable. That's why I kept saying, it's not AP everything. Think about what your child's passionate about. Think about where they're going. Oh, I think they might be thinking about engineering. Okay, focus that direction. They're thinking, oh, maybe being an author. Focus that direction. Whatever it is that they're super into. Okay? That's the direction. And we're actually going to make you sign something. If you go beyond that, the counselors are going to make the kids sign something that says, yeah, we heard your advice and we're ignoring it. Because later, when they come and say, can I please drop because I'm super stressed out, you're going to hear me say downstairs, there's no schedule changes. Pick your courses carefully. And the reason, and I'll say it to you quickly, but I'll say it down there, I literally go out and hire teachers to teach the classes you ask for. Once I hire that teacher, they're on contract. I can't unhire them because your kid changed their mind or they found it too hard. I can't. That's not the adult world. We can't go just fire people. Oh, these kids all changed their mind. You're fired. That's not how the adult world works. So we have to be super careful as we pick courses. Okay, you have been waiting, and you are going to get the last question up here. Congratulations.
And I might already know the answer, but I want
And that's
to
okay.
check. So the accelerated math is college and high school, right? So you
Yep.
would consider that like one of the AP classes for the...
Yeah,
for
college and the high
each of
school
those?
is very much, I would like, it can be, especially if your kid is like super great at math, you might go, it's kind of like an AP light, right? But some of the other ones with workload,
So
like
for 9th grade, that might be okay then?
Might be
if
9th
you
grade.
took another AP class,
Yep.
that would
And that's
be
why we
like-
said 1 or 2.
Yeah, okay.
At the very outside, if your kid is just like super brilliant in math and really wanted the other 2, I could go college and the high school plus 2. Don't go beyond that. Okay? All right. There is lots more coming. Tons and tons and tons more. But yours truly is supposed to lead 700 people down there in 35 seconds. So you guys are awesome. Contact him for $10 a pop for the video.